Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Avernum 4. Last episode, we happened to find Fort Avernum and walked into it. Turns out it is housing a teleporter that will allow us to teleport to pretty much whatever cities we've already visited. So, we're going to make use of that a lot. How fantastic. Now, let's head for the city of Silvar. I believe the Shade is not going to be here right now. In the meantime, take a look around the outside, because that's how I do things. It's how I roll. Well, it looks like, just by exploring to the north, I've already uncovered a fair bit of it. And to the south... Silvar's trash is gathered here. Eventually it will be heaped into the cart, taken south, and dumped into the river. How economically sound. No, not economically. Environmentally. Yeah, that's what I meant. And we'll start from the east side, because that's the direction I usually come from. You enter Silvar, the largest city in the Eastern Gallery. Once Kotra, west of here, was larger. Then the Empire destroyed it in the war. It never recovered, and Silvar kept growing. Silvar has not been treated kindly by recent events. It is a trading city, sending goods in and out through its river port. Now, with travel by boats through its sidle, the merchants have moved on, leaving the streets eerily empty. But that is not the only problem. There is a feeling in the air, a blanket of constant terror. You can see it in the eyes of the guards and in the eyes of the townsfolk, peering out at you from nearby buildings. Something very powerful is afflicting this city, infecting the citizens with paranoia. Something very close. You can only hope that their fear doesn't turn them against you. You feel a sudden chill. Despite the warmth of the cavern and the thickness of your gear, you start to shiver. There is a presence in the town, powerful and nearby. You can feel it, chilling the air and clouding your brain with fear. It isn't far away. This is one of Silvar's guards. He doesn't look like he's been getting much sleep lately. In fact, it looks like he has been bunking in the guardhouse instead of the barracks. You try to ask him about happenings in Silvar and what happened to the barracks, but he looks away. You should move on, adventurer. I can't talk to you. The Shade. It picks those who talks to outsiders. The Shade is here. Oh, that doesn't look good. Ephraim's weaponry. And there's the Shade. Okay. We know where to avoid then. Ephraim takes the letter, opens it, reads it, and shakes his head. Nothing but bad news, and I'm expected to pay for it. Oh well. He hands you a gemstone. You guess that this old fellow has been running this weapon shop for a long time. Everything is heavily worn. The tables, the chairs, the huge two-handed sword on the north wall. When you enter his shop, he seems genuinely torn. He wants to be friendly and greet you, but the presence of the Shade has been chipping away at his mood, making it difficult to build up enough energy to be pleasant. I am Ephraim. This is my shop. Sometimes we are open. I hope I am capable of helping you. Let me see what you have for sale. He shakes his head sadly. I'm sorry we are closed. Anastasia would have my head if I tried to trade with an outsider when the Shade was about. Please come back in a day or two and might have moved on by then. So the Silvar School. Knowledge disseminated for reasonable prices. This is a training hall. It is a sort of school where adventurers and those with similar inclinations can come to learn skills to defend themselves. The head trainer in residence is an old gentleman with sparse gray hair. He has a broadsword as his belt, chainmail on his chest, and the air of one who can't tolerate laziness. All right, I'm Captain Call. Called Captain, though I haven't been in the army for some years. I'm a trainer, and from the looks of things, I think you could use a bit of training. Can you train me? He starts to ask what you want to learn, but then he pauses. Then he shudders. Some of the fear that oozes out of the Shade leaks into him. I am closed. That's right, closed. Need to take lunch. Come back later and maybe I'll teach you something. We can't talk to any of them, can we? This woman runs a small armor shop. Despite her advanced age, she is still heavy-set and muscular. She needs it, since it looks like she uses her avel to repair her goods herself. Though she has probably spent a long life as a strong and independent merchant, the time she has spent close to the Shade has had a strong effect on her. She looks tired and terrified. When you approach her, she mumbles, I'm Anastasia. This is my shop. I sell armor if you need it. I'd like to buy some of your wares. Murderer! You will murder me! Don't you feel the Shade? If I help you, it will claim me. And don't try to buy from Ephraim either. I've made sure my fool husband won't take the risk. Then she turns her back on you. You won't be able to buy anything here as long as the shade is around. Okay, then. It's a stairway down. We'll be keeping our distance from the shade. Let's see. Chappelle is a blacksmith whose smithy is outside the Silvar West Gate. He is working on a new variety of composite armor, but he requires some difficult-to-find components. He will pay you with quality equipment if you can bring him 7 chitrack claws to continue his work. There is a scroll tacked to this board. It is addressed to someone named Vidrain, who is thought to currently be in Fort Avernum. The fort is east of Silvar. One note on the letter says, "Please only take this if you have the authority to enter the fort." Which we do. Augustus, the mayor of Silvar, offers a bounty for the discovery and elimination of several bandits who have caused trouble to merchant caravans in the area. A reward will be paid for evidence of the destruction of the highwayman Quickshank. He was last seen reported in the area of Kotra. Lorena, the queen of the slums, requests the assistance of adventurers. There is a huge slime lurking in the sewers, which is capable of spraying out deadly noxious gases. Several of her people have fallen to it. A reward will be given to the adventurer who can find and destroy the slime. It will be modest, but it will come with the great gratitude of the lower classes of Silvar. I'm gonna see if I can walk out, and if the thing will leave in the meantime. Oop, wrong button. Through. Down here to Vidrain. Vidrain takes the scroll, opens it, reads it, and makes an irritated gurgling noise. Then he hands it to you. "The magic on this is negligible. You should keep it. Maybe it will help you." Mind shield. Okay, then. And now that I think about it, to Fort Dovno. Why? Because I have a few things in here that, now that we actually have a base that we can get to easily, we can deposit them there. Alright. Take that. Alright. Now down. Now back down and around. And since it's all right here, drop. Okay then. Back to Silvar. See if the shade is still there. The shade is gone. Okay then. I guess that means we can talk to people now. You want... I'd like to look at your weapons. Nothing we need. Have you been selling weapons here for long? Only since almost as long as Avernum has existed. I was sent down here with my wife Anastasia. We settled not far from the Fort Avernum portal. Ah, Fort Avernum, the memories. You know, it was reopened recently. Really? Yeah, east of here, though none of us know what it's been open for. They won't let regular people in. You should go look. I bet it's very interesting. What is that big sword on the wall? Oh, that's my old blade, Demon Slayer. Oh, I know what you're thinking. It's not the real one, though. That was lost. What is Demon Slayer? A real one? Legendary blade, smuggled down to Avernum and used to defeat Grahoth for the first time. It was shattered in the battle and the pieces lost. Then it was found and reforged by adventurers. Where was Demon Slayer lost? Nobody knows. It was lost again in the Empire War. Broken, or maybe stolen by enemy soldiers. And gone forever, unless it's still in the underworld somewhere. Last I heard, I think we actually found it in the Venatai, in the last area in Avernum 3. The fortress of Rentar Irno, that was her name. Okay. Oop. Nope, I don't think you're ready for adventuring yet. To send you out of here without more training would be a crime. Right. Can you train me? Oh, we can improve our skills here. Nice. Nothing I need to train in, and it's highly expensive, but it's nice. What did you do in the army before you left? I traveled from one end of Avernum to the other, killing whatever I was told to. I fought spiders in Fort Remote, sliths in Fort Emerald, and I don't know what that thing that attacked me outside Fort Draco was. What do you think of what's been happening in Silvar? I think everyone's waiting for someone else to solve the problem. I think someone should have some stones and grab a halberd and do something about that shade. Someone who isn't old like me. I can think of only one person who's really trying to figure out how to kill the shade, and that's a sad thing. Everyone else is too scared. Do you really think the soldiers here can kill the shades? No, but you have to try. Better to be frozen solid fighting for your city than to sit around when everyone goes slowly mad. Who's trying to kill the shade? Someone you should probably meet, though it's a crying shame our hopes lie that low. Go to the slums, talk to Lorena. She can help you meet him. Okay then. Well, okay then. How about Anastasia? Anastasia looks at the floor and mumbles. What? What do you want now? Shouldn't talk long, not safe. No armor we need. How long have you been in Silvar? Oh, so many years. Me and my husband, we were here since the early times, when the Empire threw us down. The dark days of Emperor Hawthorne. We've seen many bad days, but few as bad as these. Why were you sent to Avernum? Originally, it was because my husband and I were not the sort of to tolerate fools gladly, and when the fool was an Empire official who liked getting rid of those who knew he was a fool, well, we ended up in a place where we could speak our minds. All the better. Who is your husband? Ephraim. He runs a weapons shop 2 doors down. But don't try to shop from him when the shade is around. I don't want him being claimed. What can you tell me about the shade? When it is here, it is close. I saw it. I saw it destroy the barracks, kill the people, freeze them solid. I will not leave my shop. Will not. But having it close, it affects me. We noticed. Barracks. Considering the state of the building, you suspect that barracks are currently unoccupied by soldiers. Yeah, probably. Okay then. Any other notes? Ah! There's a letter on the job board. It is addressed to Voorhees. Last known location, Myrtis. Payment is promised upon delivery. Simple enough to do. This is a house. Coins and curing potion. This dusty abandoned home shows signs of a recent struggle. Ah, hello. More lurking thugs. Interesting. Well, that one's dead. Oh, we got a steel shield and a chainmail vest that we can sell. Trash in there. And a passage down. We're not going to go downstairs now. Later. The Silvar Arms. At first, you took this old man for another bar patron, using a few stiff drinks to deal with the stressful events. Then you see the mayor's sash on his chest. It has several fresh wine stains. The mayor looks up at you. He is trying to disguise the terror he feels, but he isn't doing very well. I am Augustus. Welcome, adventurers, to our city. I wish I could greet you in my offices, but I don't have them. What has been happening in Silvar? What has been happening? Nothing. Nothing but the boats stopping, and the goods not landing here, and the merchant caravans passing by staying away because of the shade. The shade, the shade. Everything is about the shade now. Life has stopped. Tell me about the shade. It is not here now. That is why people might talk to you, for a while. It appears sometimes in Formello and sometimes here. When it is here, stay away from it. It appears in the ruins, that way. He points to the east. What effect does the shade have? It makes everyone afraid, makes it hard to talk, hard to think. And when you talk to outsiders, it senses it. The mark is on you, and it will come and claim you. The merchants won't come here? No, they go to Kotra now. Caravan riders are a superstitious lot. They won't stop in because of the shade. And my city wastes away. Mayor Augustus sits at the table and drinks. The city seems to completely lack his leadership. The presence of the shade has for now drained all of the energy from this man. What happened to your office? It was destroyed. It was east of here when the shade came. It claimed that spot. It destroyed the building, killed much of the guard, killed the commander, destroyed my offices. You lost your commander? Yes. Captain Arlen is dead. After all these years, the shade got him. Left me alone left me with everything to deal with. Alone. He takes another swig of wine. So you don't have many guards? Yes, though it doesn't matter. Not even bandits come here now because of the fear. Tell that to the lurking thugs we found in that building just to the east. Are there any jobs I can do for you? No! You can't put the taint of the shade on me. I am not asking you to do anything against it. If you must do something, the job board is by the east wall of the boatworks. Approach it from the south, though, or the shade may claim you. I'd like to discuss a way to get rid of the shade. The mayor looks terrified. His voice gets loud and shrill. What? Are you trying to taint me? Get me killed? Leave Silvar leaderless? Get away! Get away! It seems that as long as the shade is here, this town will be lost in madness. Oh dear. The innkeeper runs over to you as you step up to the bar. He is currently working on cooking a mushroom stew, a grey, oily concoction with a nasty smell. You doubt that he is much of a cook. He turns and wipes the stone bar with a towel. I am Bulevar. This is my inn. If you don't like the food or drink, shut up about it. What do you want? Something to eat. Nothing we need. I'd like to know something about what's been happening. Risky. People who talk to outsiders, a shade kills them. I'm not a brave man, but for 30 coins I can become more brave. Alright, be brave. Yes, Bulevar is strong. Courage is coming. What do you want to know? What can you tell me about this area? Outside, you mean? There's Cotra and there's Fort Avernum. What's happening in Cotra? It is a peaceful town, much richer now that the merchants go there instead of here, though I hear there are bandits. Bandits lurk under town. Secret way down can be found near the ruined city wall. What is happening in Fort Avernum? Do not know. Nobody comes. You should go and see. Fort is east of here. What is happening in Bulevar alternates between half-heartedly wiping the bar and adding ingredients to the stew. Remarkably, everything he does to it only makes it seem less appealing. What is happening in Silvar? There are many threats in this town. Some obvious, like the shade, and some not obvious. Can you tell me about the shade? Me, I can't, but one can. Speak with Lorena in the slums. I've heard she wants to talk about the shade, but nobody will listen to her. What are the quiet threats? There's a home near here, around the corner. It's been quiet there for some time, but the man who lived there, I never heard him move out. Strange, no? Yes, we looked at that. Nothing in there. And group heal scroll. And that is passage down. We'll have to take that another time. Guardhouse. There are 2 sailors wandering around the docks area, looking desperate for work. You have to turn them away firmly before they can ask to join you in your adventures. Okay then. Let's see, storage room. Well, there's a shielding potion. That's something. And in here we have what? Actually, things we can use. Well, take and sell anyway. Beautiful crystal and speed potion. And in here... oh, coins and fine steel. Nice. Alright then, moving on. Fine leather. That we can sell. Here's the boats. Can't really do anything with them. It's also a sailor. This is Silvar's boatworks. This is where some of the wooden craft that navigate Avernum's rivers and lakes are built and repaired. Although boat travel is currently impossible, the people of Silvar are industrious and they don't like wasting time. Several boats are in here now getting repaired. Pots of tar bubble nearby for sealing cracks in the bottoms. There are several logs and ropes in the corner for rolling the completed boats out to the docks. Soon the craft here will be ready to be taken out to the water where they can sit and wait. Lovely. There was someone here. Yep. Ah, there she is. This woman greets you with a sigh. It only takes a fraction of a second for her to dismiss you as having no skill with boats and therefore of no use to her. Still, politeness demands that she says something, even if the terror generated by the shade is wearing her down. You, adventurers, I'm Ruth and this is my boatworks. Speak up quick and then get out of my way. You make and repair boats? That's right. I'd even offer to sell you one if it wouldn't be suicide to sail out of here. Wouldn't be the first time I've sold a boat to an adventurer. But as it is, I can't really do much until something is done about the monsters. How much would a boat cost? Right now, I don't have one for sale for any price, and when they are for sale, the price will depend on demand. I'll charge whatever I think I can get. What do you know about the monsters? Not much. They're so hard to see. But I saw one claim a boat once when it was trying to get to port. A tentacle came out of the water, then two more. Big and strong. Grabbed the ship and capsized it, just like that. Only took seconds. They are horrors, and does our useless mayor have any ideas for dealing with it? Or will he listen to mine? No! What is your idea? Well, I heard a rumor. Met a caravan at the Smiths outside the West Gate. They said they were traveling along the coast west of Kotra. They looked across the water to an island to the south, and they saw shapes moving on it. Big ones. I've been trying to get someone to go investigate, but not a bit of luck. Really seems like it would be worth the time. If I get a chance, I'll look into it. Well, that's good to hear. At least someone listens. As I said, island south of the coast, west of Kotra. You'll have to find a way over there, but you'll think of something. Cast a spell or some nonsense. If you can find some evidence of where the sea monsters came from, and I'll bet you can, tell me about it. Things look very busy here. We are a hard-working people here in Silvar, shade or no shade. If we can't sail our ships, we'll maintain them for when we can. Being a sailor in Avernum is dangerous business, even in the best of times. We make sure the boats are in as good condition as possible. What makes it so dangerous? The dark, the icy water, the rapids. Every sailor knows one thing for sure. If you go over the side, you are most likely dead. When do you think it will be safe to sail again? Huh, when someone in charge gets capable of doing something. Anything. So not soon. So this island here. It's been home of forts in the past. Now it seems like it may be home of where at least some of these creatures are coming from. Which means that the creatures are only... If that's where the creatures are coming from, then the creatures are only in this area. They shouldn't be in this river, unless this river is somehow connected to this. Oh, no, wait, actually, it's connected here, so... Yeah, it spreads through a massive amount. The only water that it's not located in would be this area here, east of Almaria, and these waters here in the Great Cave, where... And those areas boats almost never go through. And maybe around Formello? Maybe there's nothing in the waters here? I don't know. The sailor was lucky enough to get a job working in the boatworks. He is currently spreading hot tar on the bottom of a longboat. Whoop. Okay then. Lucky guy. The box contains charts and schematics, all things that would be useful for sailors on the dark waters of Avernum. None of it seems valuable to you. I suppose it makes a bit of sense. Anything down here? Ah! The pylon. Good. Even though we can kind of just walk outside. This is Silvar's trading hall, where merchants traded in a wide variety of goods, which were then loaded and unloaded from the boats in the harbor. It is very quiet now. Most of the merchants in Avernum have adapted to the current situation by taking their goods over land. Oh, there's two people here. Silvar is Avernum's oldest town, situated just west of the portal where all exiles were originally teleported to the underworld. And because of this, the residents of Silvar are far older than the average Avernite. This is the oldest Nephil you have ever seen. His fur is streaked with gray and has fallen out in patches. He sits behind a table covered with bows, arrows, and fletching supplies. He smiles, revealing yellow, cracked teeth. I am Orm, Fletcher of Silvar. In these cold, hard times, always open to sell weapons to those who fight foes of Avernum. There are foes I wish to see die. Like to buy a weapon? Composite bow, that sounds nice. Aren't many people in the bazaar now. Orm shakes his head. The creatures in the water come. The boat merchants go away. The shade comes. The caravans stay away. Silvar is a poor, lonely place. Why do you stay? I am Nephil. I stay where I choose to be. I will not be scared away. Well, okay then. Orm sits calmly behind his table, affixing iron arrowheads to long shafts of cavewood. He looks up at you and raises his bushy eyebrows, curious what else you need. Who do you wish to see die? His voice is very calm. So many things. So many foes that take away peace of advancing years. Like murdering Nefer, who dark mate, until you see dead very much. You are a defender of Avernum? Yes. I am not savage Nephil, I am friend of Avernum and hater of Empire. Your mate was murdered? Yes. She died in chaotic time after the shade appeared. Nefer bandit in town, called Hoshar, was leaving but panicked, struck her down as he fled. I wish to hear of him dead in horrible pain. It is all I wish for now before my time in the world ends. Do you know where Hoshar went after he fled? I have asked questions, talked to merchants, listened to rumors. And I heard that he fled into Honeycomb, maze of tunnels to south, old hiding place for rogues and murderers. Well, it'll be a while before we go there, but we'll keep that in mind. This merchant has a small shop in the corner of the bazaar, full of all sorts of useful supplies. He smiles. I am Hodges, and this is my humble shop. I have a variety of goods for sale, and I can buy equipment you no longer need. It's not much, but all I can do until the boats sail again. How can I help you? A fair bit of stuff, nothing we need. But we can sell more loot. Always good to be able to sell. I don't need anything. Alright, thank you. Come again. Alright then. Silvar slums. Respectable citizens should not enter unescorted. These are Silvar's infamous slums. Once quickly built refugee quarters to house those made homeless by the destruction of Kotra, they are now home to the poor, desperate, and drunk. Though some muggers no doubt lurk in the shadowy corners, you feel perfectly safe. They would have to be mad to attack an adventurer. Right. You meet a denizen of the slum sitting on the floor and staring up at you with wide eyes. People in Avernum end up poor for a variety of reasons. Sickness, laziness, mental instability brought on by life in the underworld. Some of them beg. Some of them try to get to the Tower of Magi ruins to be teleported to the surface. Some turn to petty crime and get sent to the abyss. And some come to slums like this one to rot. It's a pitiful sight, but there is nothing to be learned from this person. Oh, that's just another slum dweller. Well, someone here should know something. Can't get in there, it seems. There's Lorena. Most of the people in the Silvar slums shuffle by you quietly, trying to avoid eye contact. Not this woman. She wears a thick leather jacket and has several knives on her belt, and she doesn't look the slightest bit impressed by you. I am Lorena, queen of the slums. Why have you come into my hovel uninvited? You're queen of the slums? That's what I call myself, honey, and what I made them call me. It's appropriate for the job I do, and have done for a long time. What do you do? I keep order. The city guards, even if they weren't wetting themselves because they're so scared of the shade, wouldn't look out for the slums. So I do. I keep people from beating each other too much. I keep the drunks vomiting in the river instead of the road, and I make sure the muggers bother proper townsfolk, not us. How are you able to keep control? I have friends, and I have abilities. She snaps her fingers. A tiny puff of flame appears above them. She smiles. Was a mage who lived here a few years ago. We taught each other a lot of tricks. You've been here a long time? My parents brought me here when it was a refugee camp, people fleeing the smoking ruins of Kotra after the Empire destroyed it. They got sick, mold and rot, died. Others left. I stayed. Lorena watches you carefully, one hand on her hip, the other on her knife. What now, traveler? Amusing yourself with a little more time in Avernum's underbelly? Do you know anything about what's been happening in Silvar? She looks surprised. You know, the beggars and thieves, they know everything that happens in the city. And nobody's ever asked us what we think of what's been happening. Nobody wants to know if we found out secrets. Secrets about the shade. Have you found any secrets? Me? No. Or at least none I'm willing to share. But I know someone who's been watching the shade more than anyone. Who knows things. Who? Well, since you asked so nicely, his name is P.I., all drunk down in the sewers. But he was an adventurer once, and he still has some instincts. She pulls a tarnished copper key out of her pocket and hands it to you. That'll get you down there. You want to know about the Shades? If anyone can tell you something, he can. I would like to know about the Shade. We all would. The Shade has claimed some of my people. Human or not human, that calls for vengeance. Fair enough. Ah. And this will head down to PI in the sewers. Well, it sounds like there's going to be a fair bit of stuff in the sewers, so we're going to be doing that in the next episode. There's going to be a fair bit to look around and down there. Till then, I am Chessbook44, that is Nova, Lear, and John, and Pyrrha. This has been an Avernum 4 Let's Play, and I will see you all next time.